Welcome to another video, and today we are doing the first Raw of the new year in 2026, and this one started off with a bang. This was a really good Raw. They had the Stranger Things collab going out through the whole thing. So I guess what was your initial thoughts of just the setup in general and how things looked, I guess?
I think it's a very cool, just like setup, obviously, with the promotion and stuff like that. I think at least it's something that at least I'm a fan of, so at least I can get the references and stuff like that. So yeah, really cool.
We're gonna get into things here, and the first big news that we want to start this video off is Javon Evans has officially signed with Monday Night Raw. Now I don't know why they did this commercial, but it was crazy. I don't know why they would do that. That's something that the fans been wanting for a long time. We've been talking about it online and just in the crowd, and everyone really wanted this for a long time, but we did finally get it. But yeah, he's a part of the Monday Night Raw roster officially.
I cannot wait for Javon to finally debut and have some real matches. Now that he is on Raw, obviously that is going to be the A-tier brand. There's a lot better guys for him to wrestle. Hopefully we see a rematch with Gunther sometime soon. A dream match for him being AJ Styles. I can't wait for. Even eventually if he gets that kind of intercontinental picture, maybe we see him versus Dom. I think that could be an amazing match. Him versus Finn. There's so much you knew with Javon. That's why he is somebody who's at the top of many people's list this past year and probably just in general right now, because he is just that damn good. You know, he can put on some of the best matches every single night. He's building his character more and more every time. He's getting more experience. So yeah, I can't wait for Javon to be on this roster, and I can't wait for matches we get to see from him.
Yeah, and speaking of Gunther and AJ Styles, that will take us to our next segment, because Gunther comes out, and before he did come out, Adam Pearce told him, you need to talk with more respect when you talk about John Cena and things of that nature. So he comes out and he says, people keep telling me I need to respect John Cena, but people aren't respecting me for taking out John Cena. And right as he was about to do his line where he's like, I made him tap out like a little, and then AJ Styles music hits, he comes out and he kind of approaches him to kind of defend John Cena in a way. But yeah, really good stuff from there. He kind of mocks him for a little while before AJ Styles finally snaps and slaps Gunther, and they go head to head. A little bit later on in the night, we see them backstage with Adam Pearce, and they do have a match next week, and this will be an overseas match, so I do believe the crowd will erupt for this.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're getting big non-title feuds between guys that are really good and that deserve time. For example, obviously being Gunther and AJ Styles, I was a bit worried on where we would see Gunther going forward after losing the World Heavyweight title. It's a guy that kind of always revolves around some type of gold, so now that, it's hooking up with CM Punk and Braun Breaker, you know where he would land. But I love that we're getting him versus AJ. It's a great feud to have, and yeah, the matches I think are going to be amazing next week, in that first ever match should be really cool. So yeah, I can't wait for that match to happen.
Another feud that came to a close on this night was Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree, once again for the Intercontinental Champion. I kind of went into this kind of hoping that Maxine would win, because I feel like Becky kind of should go up to that world title picture and kind of face off against Stephanie McCurry, potentially setting up a WrestleMania match, but they kind of went another direction we'll talk with in a little bit later. But Becky does regain the Intercontinental Champion, becoming the first two-time Intercontinental Champion in his lineage so far. And yeah, a really good match from Becky. Obviously there was some slip-ups in the beginning of the match where it wasn't, obviously not a 5-star match or anything of that nature, but it was about what I expected for a Maxine Dupree match, and she has been making a lot of improvements. And yeah, hopefully we can see her continue to make those improvements, so next time when she gets a big opportunity like that, she can look even better.
I do like the call. I think obviously Maxine was somebody who we didn't really expect to have a super long reign with this championship, but Becky Lynch now getting it back, I think, kind of continues WWE to force to use that belt, and because they want to use somebody like a Becky Lynch, and I think we'll see another story where she'll kind of make a new star, I guess you could say, like we've seen it with her doing Maxine Dupree over the past kind of month now. So yeah, I'm glad that Maxine Dupree got a little run. She's in the history books nonetheless, but I do think eventually she will be getting this belt sometime again.
Yeah, and we're going to go on to some quick things here. The Usos did come out stage, and they were kind of talking to the crowd about them just being the GOATs of the tag team division team, and anyone out there in the tag team division should be looking out for them. So that kind of makes me say that maybe the Hardys could be getting involved at some point, because we do have the Hardys making themselves called the GOATs right now. They're kind of been saying that a lot recently on TNA, so maybe that's kind of like a hint that we'll see them recently. But also that could be Penta and Rey Fenix as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the Usos will have to bring this year. I think there's a lot of things to prove from them, to kind of say, Jay didn't have a year that everybody liked, so I think there's going to be a lot of him trying to get, back into his bag in the tag team division, and I think this is the best version of the Usos, so yeah, hope it works out.
And another one, we did start the night off with this match, and that was Rhea and Io Sky taking out the Kabuki Warriors to win the tag team titles. The match was pretty good. I do feel like it started off pretty slow, but it did eventually pick up and build some more momentum and more like I guess emotion throughout the match whenever they did eventually get that big win. So yeah, pretty cool moment for Rio to get that.
Yeah, this was another match I wasn't able to watch, but again, seeing them win the titles, I'm not too mad about. It's again, like I said, for Becky Lynch, it's gonna force WWE to use them because they want to use Io and Rhea. There's gonna be a big match with them and Charlotte Flair or Charlotte and Alexa sometime soon. I said that on SmackDown, so yeah, I can't wait to see what they have to offer in the tag team division. I think this is a team that I did predict and want to win the tag team champion, so hopefully we have a good run. It's gonna be a hard team to beat down the line.
Yeah, and then our next match was an absolute banger. I love this match. Hopefully, we do get another match between these two with a lot more time behind it and maybe even a PLE match with these two. But we did get Liv Morgan versus Lyra Valkyria, and we did see Liv Morgan get the win after a distraction from Roxanne and Bayley, where Roxanne kind of flipped Lyra out of the ring. Bayley went and chased her, and then Roxanne ran through the ring, and then Bayley ran through the ring with her, which caused a big distraction for Lyra Valkyria. She kind of went and hung over the ropes, which set her up for the Oblivion from Liv Morgan to get the win. But yeah, really good match between these two. I'd like to see another one with without all the gimmicks behind it.
Yeah, I love that Liv Morgan has continued to show that, even though with her time missed, she's kind of still back to what we've seen previously before she had to take some time away. But yeah, I really like this match. I'm glad that Liv's continue her dominance and kind of rising back up to the top, because I think she's somebody that does need to be in that world title picture. And yeah, I'm glad that Lyra's getting at least more opportunity on screen. So yeah, I'm glad that overall everything kind of was a success.
And speaking of the world title, the next part is Stephanie Vaquer comes out, but she is in a boot and says that she does have an injured ankle. And yeah, she said that she will still defend her title. She will not relinquish the title. But before she could kind of finish her statement and walk out, Raquel Rodriguez attacks her. We do go to commercial shortly after that, where we also see Raquel attack her again after commercial, kind of making a statement, stomping on her ankle. Adam Pearce comes and breaks them up once again. But yeah, you could only imagine we will see these two very shortly, potentially a Royal Rumble match set up between these two, and I do kind of expect Raquel to potentially win that one.
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about Raquel winning the world champion. I think she has definitely improved since the time that Liv had to go away and she kind of had to step up as the top woman of Judgment Day. So I will give her credit there, where she has, like I said, improved a lot. But I still want Stephanie to hold this title, because I feel like things really haven't going to where I wanted it to be. But considering that she might legitimately be injured, who knows how that's going to play out. I do kind of agree with you that we will see Raquel eventually get this championship. I guess Nikki Bella's also in that conversation, but it seems like Raquel's going to be the way they want to go, and I don't mind. I would rather Raquel over Nikki Bella right now. So yeah, I like where we're going with it, but like I said, I'm still not 100% sure on Raquel being a world champion.
Yeah, I think I do like Raquel as a world champion. I think she's kind of having somewhat similar to a Liv Morgan rise. I was sort of always behind Liv Morgan because I saw the potential. I felt like she was actually trying to get better every single time, and eventually she got to the point where she is today. And I kind of feel the same way about Raquel Rodriguez, where at one point I definitely didn't like her. If you go back to some of our videos maybe 2 years ago, I definitely was probably hating on her and saying, I don't really care for her, whatever the case may be. But I think she's definitely improved a ton. I feel like those Kevin Nash comments got to her, and ever since then, that's when she stepped up and kind of became this new dominant big woman and played the character even better, how she was supposed to be the whole time. As big as she is, that's how you need to play it. But I do like it. I think if Stephanie does end up losing the world title, you could kind of slide her into the Intercontinental picture just to put her versus Becky. That is still a big match. I know we would rather see that be a world title match, of course, but if it is for the IC title, that does just help the lineage of the IC title nonetheless. So I don't think I would mind it.
Yeah, like I said, Raquel, like I said, she's improved a lot. I can't wait for her to continue this. I don't think it's something that, I'm not saying it's some type of fluke by any means, but I do think, she will eventually get this champion. I don't think she'll be a long champion, so that's something that also makes me not too upset about if she doesn't get the champion, but yeah, I can't wait to see where she goes.
Yeah, potentially a triple threat between all three of the Judgment Day women at WrestleMania could be a pretty good plot point for that title to go in. But we're going to go to our main event of the night, where CM Punk defeats Braun Breaker. And this was a really good match. I did enjoy it. I did feel like it should have been maybe a little bit better. I did have a little bit higher expectations potentially. But nonetheless, it was still a really good match. The match eventually came to an end after Braun Breaker pushes CM Punk into the referee, which takes the referee out. We then see the Vision come into the ring, start attacking CM Punk. But then Penta Ray and Dragon Lee came out to kind of defend CM Punk, fight the Vision off. And then we see Braun Breaker kind of do this big clothesline off the top rope into CM Punk through the table. Really good spot there. Kind of a crazy moment from Braun Breaker. But we did eventually see CM Punk hit the GTS to get the big win here. But yeah, pretty good match from them. I did expect maybe a little bit more, but I don't think this is quite over yet. So maybe there will be a rematch for these two later on.
I'm a CM Punk fan, so I'm not too upset with him winning, but I will say I am a bit surprised because I did think Braun Breaker was going to get the win here. It felt like this was kind of the moment to kind of, pull a trigger on a young champion for like the first time in quite some time, it feels like. But they don't do it here. I feel like that is more saying that either it's just not his time or we're going to do this on a big show, whether that is a Royal Rumble, which is coming up soon, maybe it's Chamber or even WrestleMania. I think that is the real moment, or you should do it probably. But yeah, like I said, I don't mind CM Punk winning. I think this reign is still something, like I said, about Stephanie McCurry, where I think it needs to get going a little bit more. We kind of seen the same opponent, so maybe get some fresh stuff going on. But yeah, glad that Punk wins. Like to see the Penta, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee also get involved, kind of mix them in with some of the main event guys right now. Obviously, I don't think it means too much, but hopefully we do see more of them down the line. I wouldn't mind this being some type of big 8-man tag on Raw some week.
Yeah, I think Penta getting put in these big spots could be really cool. I think a match that I kind of am looking forward to, surprisingly, could be Penta and Logan Paul. I think there could be something there between them two, where they could put on a pretty good match. And yeah, I would like to see that. And like you said as well, 8-man tag between them could be really good as well. But yeah, I really did enjoy the main event that did in the show. And yeah, a really good show for Monday Night Raw. I do feel like they're kind of turning things around in WWE. SmackDown was really good. They're kind of going in a new direction with new people coming up to their roster, and now they're doing the same thing on Raw. So I do feel like WWE is going in the right direction right now.
Yeah, I think both shows so far to start the year have been a banger. I think obviously SmackDown still needs some improvements, but I think that's just being more nitpicky than more than anything. But yeah, good start to the year. I guess so far the match of the year for TV would be this CM Punk and Braun Breaker match as well. I do think it was a really good match. I think, like you said, it could have been better, but for a main event on a TV show is definitely nothing to complain about, I'd say. But yeah, overall, great start to the year.
Yeah, and we're going to sign out with that one. We will catch you guys tomorrow with the New Year's Evil review. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one.